fourth year, like I already said. And every time we told an experience because impacting the next generation has become an assignment for some of us, something that we do come rain, come shine, because we believe so much in the destiny of this nation, and we believe so much in your own destiny as well. And we know that opportunities like this, opportunities like these are critical platforms where people make the decisions to become something great in their lives. Some of us were afforded such opportunities when we were younger, and we made the right decisions. And the multiple right decisions, over a long period of time has helped us to be where we are today. Even to the place where others are looking up to us for guidance, for inspiration, like some of you rightly define what leadership is. Which I want you to spend me your ear for the next 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then also follow through with every session in this conference. Because let me tell you something for a fact, and I want you to write it down. Talk is not cheap. I know you've heard it countless times that talk is cheap. Talk is never cheap. Talk is not cheap. Talk is a potent raw material for change and transformation. If you despise the things that you hear, or you're not careful about the things that you hear or the things that you say, you would almost miss it in destiny. I can be 98% sure. So talk is not cheap. So I want you to disabuse your mind that people are just coming to talk, to just talk and that's all. People are not just coming to talk. What you're saying standing before you and every other person that will sit down and talk to you is years of experiences that will help you not to make the same mistakes in life and help you to just arrive easily or easier, than we had it. Okay? You go to church, you go to mosque every day, you listen to your pastors, you listen to your imams. Some of you attend conferences like this. People fly people from all across the world to come and speak for 15 minutes. And you say talk is cheap. Talk is not cheap. You know how much it costs them to bring me to Bauchi just to talk for 30 minutes. The moment I'm done, I'm on my way back to God. Talk is not cheap. Talk is not cheap. The communications of words are literally building blocks for lives. Are you listening to me? So I'm saying all of this to prepare your ears and your heart so that you're able to receive, you're able to listen, and as you listen, you see, right? You watch, you know how to see things now. You see the main thing from the sharp remains on the filter, right? And then you watch how the liquid goes on the salt and goes down, right? So you listen, you put your mind, a sieve on your mind so that you're filtering the things that you're hearing and you're thinking the things that are important, for your life and your destiny. Okay? So this next 25 minutes is the most critical part of your life so far. And I'm telling you that for free. It's the most critical part of your next 15 years. What I'll be saying to you and what you decide to do with it can shape the course of your history forever. So I need you to pay attention. Okay, because these are the moments that change lives. Some time ago, I was seated in a conference like this. Some time ago, I was wearing the beret that you were wearing. I didn't wear a t-shirt beret, but I had a position, as a leader in secondary school. And I'll give you a background of my story, of the history, of how I got to that place. And I'll tell you a little bit of some of the things that transpired. Then I'll talk to you about values. So that we have a good time. Alright? Are we good? So I schooled at Federal Government Academy Suleja. It's called the Center for the Future and Talent. And after 2 attempts, right when I was in primary 4, I didn't get admitted, primary 5 and got admitted. And when I resumed school, because we had students from around from every part of the country, so it was a very competitive school. Usually that school is like one of the best schools in the country. That was the impression we had about the school. One of the things that I look forward to, 2 weeks to be in school, I was like, what would it be like to be the senior prefect of this school? I want to have that kind of opportunity. They said one. So I looked for the headquarters. You would hardly know who the headquarters. They are not usually in public. All the other prefects are running things, headquarters, they are sacrosanct. So I asked around who the headquarters. So he pointed me to the next thing. I was like, Sacrosanct asked the question, and I said, why not? So I introduced myself and I asked him, what does it feel like being the headquarters of this school? And I'm sure he was surprised at how the just was together just a few weeks ago. They asking me. So he took his time and told me, the enormity of the assignment, the intricacies, the intentionality that comes with it, how you must balance academics with leadership, the demands, from school authority, the challenge of leading students, to do what they are meant to be, leading your mates. And all of those things. So he took his time and then he asked me a question afterwards. Why do you ask? I said, because I want to be the senior prefect in this school someday. And he was like, oh wow, which one is best and all of that. Fast forward, this is just one. Fast forward SS2. Fast forward SS1. SS1 third term, because we get new prefects in SS2 third term. So I was SS1 third term. And the new set of leaders are just coming. And the deputy head boy there just took an exceptional interest in me and started to mentor me. Gave me my first book on leadership to read, which was by John C. Maxwell, the 360 degree. I didn't know what he was doing, but I read it and he challenged me to do a lot of things, and all of that. SS2 second term, you declare your intention to become a prefect. To the prefect body to school. So the current prefect will step back and give you the opportunity to serve, or to lead. We call it the campaign period in school there. So we started to campaign and all of that. And for some reason, of course, I campaigned to be the senior prefect, because I had been a desire in my heart. I didn't have the chances because I wasn't the brightest of students. Some boys are usually first, second, or third. You have to be in that block in your academics to become a senior prefect in our school. That it didn't deter me because I was in the middle block. I was coming 11, 10, 13. I wasn't bad, and even the 13th I'll come 13%, something percent. So you can imagine. So I was an A student, however, positionally, academically, I was the middle of the class. So I didn't stand the chance at all. But it didn't deter me. I stayed focused. We did the campaign. At the end of the day, against all odds, I emerged as a senior prefect in school. And it was like, wow, it was a record that had not been set in the entirety of the school before. And that was when my life changed. When I say change, I mean my life changed. Everything I'm doing today was built on that very pedestal of becoming a senior prefect of Federal Government Academy Center. Because leadership, from that place, I recognized that I had a calling to lead other leaders to become better versions of themselves and to lead effectively. I carried the whole thing on my head. It affected my academics in the first term, till I subscribed to mentorship and I was able to gain balance, academically and all of that. Then I went in there with a vision. I went in there with a plan to contribute significantly to school. There were certain things that I wrote down that before I'm done as a senior prefect, I would want to implement in school. One of them was that we never used to have leadership trainings. Never. There were leadership trainings and experiences that other schools used to go for externally. That helped to sharpen the leadership experience of prefects in the school. We used to have it then. Schools used to go to Cherry Hills and the rest of them, for citizenship and leadership training. I said, we must go. Myself, we must go. And I took it upon myself to go to Cherry Hills, have conversations with the I was in SS2, mind you. So as a school long vacation, I did all of those research. Went there, I told them the school, I told them we would like to come for this and all of that. And because of that, I believe it was part of the reasons why federal military schools, that's federal government colleges, were invited to be a part of the citizenship and leadership training for the first time. So when I was head boy for the first time, my whole set of prefects went for a 2-week leadership course in Cherry Hills in Jos. That was one of the things I set out to do. And significantly, training leaders, going out to attend conferences. My school participated in the secondary school model of the United Nations back in 2008. That was the first time, and so many other firsts that happened when I was leader. And I was so intentional that I had a diary where I put down my plans, where I had my thinking processes, and everything I did for the 1 year of being a senior prefect was documented in that book. When I was going to handover, so handover is not just a thing that you just leave, to the students. No, I was strategic about raising the next set of leaders. I have 3 persons that I mentored, same way I was mentored, 3 persons that I mentored to succeed me. So I was confident if any one of them succeeded me as the head boy, I was fine to go. The beautiful thing that happened is that 3 of them succeeded me. One was head boy, the second was deputy head boy, the third succeeded me as a fellowship leader in FCS platform. So all 3 I mentored succeeded me in different positions. That diary where I wrote my plans, my thoughts and all of that, I handed it over to the person that succeeded me as the head boy of school. And of course I forgot about it. Let it be a guiding light and all. 2 generations later, when he finished, he handed it over to somebody. After that person finished, he sent back that same diary to me and told me, thank you. This book helped me through my leadership process in school. Why did I take my time to tell you this story? The platform you have right now is not happenstance. If you treat it as happenstance, you won't get the best of it. The platform that you're currently occupying as prefect in your school is very critical to what you can become tomorrow, except you are not intentional about it. 2 generations later, that book, I was in tears because, and funny enough, the person that succeeded my successor was my roommate. So I wasn't directly mentoring him because that was nothing. So he was my roommate for a very long time. And he became the head boy after my immediate successor. So talk about thinking generationally about leadership and talk about being intentional about the positions that you have. So when Quintessential Lead says, come for a conference, we want to provide you with fundamentals that you need to be effective in your leadership. They are not just talking. They are referring to the future that we have so desired for a long period. Except if you're not aware of the things that are happening in the country and in the continent. But if you are, you will understand that being 16 or being secondary school does not mean you cannot bring about change in one way or the other. So from that microcosm of a secondary school, this has emerged. I have emerged. I won't be speaking for 4 years in a row if I don't have value to offer. Essentially, you will not have to bring me every other year to speak if you've not seen a significant level of impact, growth, and influence that are generated over the time. So that's my story. My story was just meant to inspire you to take where you are seriously. Take it seriously. Invest. Take it seriously. So the theme for this conference this year is values and value system. And Michael started to talk about the true north. We all know what the compass is. The compass, not the compass in your mouth. The compass, the graphical compass. I have the 4 cardinal points. Are we aware? What are the 4 cardinal points? I can hear you. North, south, east, and west. Right? Beautiful. When you are traveling, if you use Google Maps before, if you use Google Maps before, when you are maybe driving or something, or you're in boat, and you listen to that woman that is talking, in Google Maps, and say, turn northeast in the next 500 meters. Or you're flying an aeroplane, and the aeroplane uses the compass. And because you cannot see left one or right one, so it uses the compass to know how to navigate, whether it's turning northeast to 35 degrees, northwest, 6 degrees, and all of that. So you know the cardinal point, and the cardinal points are meant to offer us some sense of direction. Is that not so? Direction, yeah? Are we together? So when you are at the crossroad now, and you're wondering, should I go forward? Should I go? Let's assume this is north. I don't know the geographical north. So let's assume, let's take that one. Okay, let's assume this is our north. This is our east. And I'm at this T junction right now. I'm coming from the south. And I'm meant to proceed on my journey. I'm not aware. And then they say, no, you're going to turn northeast to maybe 45 degrees. I know that this is my north because I have my compass. This is my east, right? So northeast or 45 degrees should be somewhere around here. Is that not true? So I turn like this and then I begin to move, right? So values are your compass. Values to you are a compass. Every time you arrive at a place of making a decision, what helps you to know what direction to turn to is informed, or the direction you decide to turn to is informed by the values that you have. Morally, your moral values and the value system that you invite over time. So let's bring it home practically. They said maths objectives has leads for while, and your classmate has it, and every person is getting it to cram, and you're at that junction right now, and the decision that you need to make is very important. Whatever you will choose is dependent on your values. Are you getting? I'm trying to relate values to that compass now. You go to a shop, you give 1,000 naira to make purchases of 700 naira, and the person gives you back 500 naira change instead of 300 naira. What you decide to do at that point is dependent on your values. So every time you are faced with contradicting circumstances, the contradictions of life, what enables you, not even what enables you, whatever decision you make in those instances is dependent on your values. So your values summarily are your compass, your internal navigation system that enables you to make the right choices or the wrong choices in the days of contradiction. Those are your values. So picture a scenario. Paint a daring scenario. No matter the scenario, you have, oh my goodness, I can give you personal examples. I just don't like to give personal examples so much, except it's really warranted. When you were at a place of right or wrong, and what helped you was because you have learned to embrace right and shown what was wrong. But you see, values don't just come about. People don't just develop values. It's not impacted in you. You don't just there's a process that leads to us building the right value systems. There are certain things that are determinant factors whether or not you will have the right value system that will save you, your generation, your nation, your school in the days where it matters the most. There are so many factors that come to play. But for the benefit of our lecture today, I will stay with maybe one or two. You see, we are all products, all of us are products of our environment. And we remain slaves of our environment. I'll give you context. All of us are products of our environment, and for life, every man remains a slave to his environment. Now, what is environment? You might want to write it down. Micah, say I'm copying you now. Let's write it down. Don't say that when I'm copying. You have influenced me. Micah, I think you have influenced me to say write it down. I don't need to say write it down when I'm copying. So, you see, Micah has influenced me. Thank you, sir. Alright, so maybe write it down. You need to write this one down. What is an environment? So you understand what I'm saying. An environment is anything, any entity that has the ability to interact with your spirit, your soul, and your body. Any entity at all, anything that has the ability to interact with your being, your spirit, your soul, and your body constitutes an environment around you. So it means that at every given point in our life, we remain within a curated environment, whether intentionally curated by us or imposed on us by other people. The school that you are in right now is an environment. Physically, it's an environment, but the knowledge you're interacting with every day also constitutes an environment to your soul. Because it is knowledge that is being imparted to you, and the receptor of that knowledge in your being is your soul. Is that not so? Your soul is the citadel of your being, your emotions, and your intellect. What I'm saying to you right now, you're listening with your soul, with your intellect, your reason, your sense of reason is breaking it down to help you to assimilate it. Is that not so? So my words right now have already constituted an environment around your soul. Because you're already doing business interacting with it. Whenever you go to your places of worship, whatever happens within that place is also constituting an environment. Because for some reason, it has a way of reaching your spirit. It has a way of helping you to commune better with God, right? Or exposes you to the truth and realities that surround, the spirit realm or the metaphysical realm, as the case is. So it constitutes your environment. The food that you eat has a way of going into your physical body, and it influences your health. It influences your body build. It influences your nutrition. It impacts on your physical environment, which is your body. Is that not so? And they will tell you, if you take alcohol, you should not take alcohol. But for those that take alcohol, they will tell you the negative impact it has on your body. So because it is interacting with your body. Are you getting my definition now? So an environment is any entity that can interact with your spiritual and body constitutes an environment. So it means that we pick values based on the environment or the predominant environment that we are exposed to. The things that we see, the things that we hear, the places that we go to, the people that have access to us. Even genetically, things are being transferred that influences our outlook and our compass, our internal compass. So, first confidential environment is your what? Your first environment is your what? No, your family. That's the noble environment. Unfortunately, you don't get to choose that one. Did you have meeting with God in heaven? Say, God, I want to be born into this family about this thing. Did you have a meeting? Anybody that had a meeting, you do your hand. No, it's confidential. We can't have any impact with that one. It just happened, it's confidential. So your first noble environment is your family. Unfortunately, you could not determine the character of your brother, the character of your father, the character of your sister, the character of your mother. You couldn't determine all of that. You just came into it and began to see them the way they were living. Whether good, whether bad, whether you had the right value systems or not, you just began to see them the way they were. And trust me, you were saying certain things and you were imbibing certain things. And then you started to go to your places of worship, you started to go to school, and then those environments also started to impact you. You started to see your teachers, you started to see your classmates, you started to see that, there's actually a difference from what I'm used to at home. So exposure, pain, education started to come. Your sense of choice, right? Your sense of choice was strengthened because you now had options to choose from. Is that not so? Hello, are you with me? Are you with me? Because you were introduced to other environments. You began to interact with other kinds of knowledge. You began to interact with other kinds of people. So your options were broadened. You see, at that stage, it is very important that you are able to. How many of us do chemistry here? Do you know reconstitution? You know what it means to reconstitute something. Oh yeah, forget chemistry. English. Do you know what it means to reconstitute something? So if something is made of A plus B plus C and DE, right? You see, reconstitute this thing to involve G, F, Q. It means you have to take some, maybe you take the B, the C, the D, and you introduce W, X, Y, and Z, so that it is now A plus W plus X plus Y. You understand? Because B and C and D were not good for the equation. You get my point? So we constitute this chemical equation to produce. Are you with me now? Simple terms, take away, subtract, and add. When you began to have the opportunity to interact with that environment, what it meant was that you had the ability to reconstitute or begin the process of reconstituting your environment. You could subtract what was wrong from what you have been exposed to, maybe at home or in school. You could add what is good from what you have seen in the lives of other people, or what you heard on a message on TV, or a conference you attended, or some training that you went to. You could add, you could subtract the bad and add the positive. As you are right now, you are capable of environmental reconstitution. You can choose the things that influence you. You can choose the things that shape your values. You can choose the things that will inspire you in the day when you need to make a choice. That's what I'm trying to tell you now. Nobody should have a monopoly of dictating to you the choices that you should make. By virtue of your right thinking, attending conferences like this, you should be able to assimilate what is good and use it to shape a value system that helps you to choose right in the day of contradiction. Are you following me? So let's read it home. So that in the day when you should cheat in the example, you should tell yourself that integrity matters. But integrity will not matter if you've not been exposed to an environment that teaches integrity. That's what I'm saying. In the day when you should steal, and you see, it starts small. Now the report you're stealing, meet the report you're stealing now. In 15 years, you will steal billions. The billions we should hear and see that snakes swallow. But I used to wonder how snakes used to swallow 15. You know, because the things we hear in this country almost are very, very serious matters. And so it starts small. So if you don't correct the values, first, if you don't correct the environment, you will not be able to invite the right values. How do you get the connection now? If you don't expose yourself to the right things to hear, the right things to see, the right relationships to have around you, the right kind of friends, listen to me. Nobody should impose friendship on you. Choose your friends. That's one is a civil right, is a human right. Choose the people that can associate with you. Curate your relationships. Let nobody pressure you to do anything because it's invoke. No, you are gotten to the age of reason. You must be able to choose to expose yourself to the right learning environment that helps you to see the workability of right values. So the things you share, the things you watch, the relationship you keep, very, very important. In the day of contradiction, your environment is what is going to help you. The kind of environment you've been exposed to before that time and the one that you are currently existing in is what will bring out the value systems that will support you or demote you in the day of contradiction. So you are better begun to take responsibility of curating your environment now. The right kind of environment. Don't just listen to anything. Be sensitive to what you're hearing and who you're hearing. Be sensitive to what you're reading. Be careful about the things you're going to. Because you pick things. Your spirit, soul, and body is interacting with things, with entities at that moment. And the day that they come out is always in the day of contradiction. You know what contradiction means? In the day where you are left with a decision to make, and both choices are equally impressed in your mind, just that one is unto good conscience and the other is unto evil. That is always the bedrock. But this is the bedrock. This is the bedrock of nation building. This is the bedrock of what will transform Nigeria, transform your life as you know it. It's no longer time for you to continue to say, I am young. You are not young. Trust me, you are not young. You are not. You are not. So you are at your prime. You are at the day where you can do so much with your life and you can become so much in your life in a very, very short time. But it depends on your environment. Everybody right up your face this morning. Right up your face. I don't know if you heard anything today. But I want you to make a solemn pledge. You know, you really pledge Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest. Do you know the meaning of these words? To serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold her honor and glory. I pledge Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest. Listen to those words. Listen to the values that we profess every morning on the assembly ground. To be faithful, loyal, and honest. I won't change figures in the days when I have the opportunity to just use the red thing and add another zero. I won't cheat in the day when I didn't read for an exam and I have an opportunity to copy even with the teacher's permission. To be faithful, loyal, and honest. I'll be honest about everything. Those are the values that we profess every morning on the assembly ground. And for some reason, it doesn't count or it doesn't mean so much to us. Because we live in a kind of place or generation where values don't matter. When we are told you can break the law, you can do whatever you want to do. Nobody cares. After all, it is Nigeria. You're driving and the traffic light says red, and you go because after all, it is Nigeria. There are no consequences for action. There are consequences for every action. Every time you do what is wrong, something good inside of you dies. And in the day when you should have had an accumulation of good deeds to help you to embrace a greater good, you will be deficient because in the days when you should choose good, because there were no physical or evidential consequences, you chose to do the wrong thing. Today we are going to say the national pledge again. And I want you to meditate on those words and make them your pledge indeed. Going forward as a Nigerian, as a citizen of this country, and as a human being, you will live by that creed and by that code that will enable you to always live by the value systems we have chosen to embrace as a nation. So after the count of 3, we will say the national pledge twice, meditatively. 1, 2, 3. I pledge to Nigeria, my country. Serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God. One more time. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold her honor